Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. It turns out that Gaijin extended the dev server for one more day and they added a bunch more stuff to it. So another set of updates for a bunch of vehicles coming in, including some of the premiums and also some of the other ones. So what we're going to do in this video is go over the major changes. Also, at the same time, when it came to one of the missiles, we had a look at in the files we were talking about the other day, the KH-59. I said that there was 3 variants in the files. There is actually only 2 variants in the files. So one of them, basically the NA version that I said, that's actually just an air brake animation on the standard one. So my bad. By the way, if you want to check out any of the data mines or anything else that's around, make sure to check over or go over to the WT Snail Mine. I'll leave a link in the description so you can go and see all this stuff firsthand. So let's get started on the changes. As always, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe and like the video. Let's get started. The FA-18C late. This one is the new banger, which is coming in for America. You may see at the bottom here that there is a bunch of vehicles that are not right. So for some reason, with all the F-15s, they've given them the icons to the FA-18. No idea why, but just understand that doesn't mean these are F-15s. They're just FA-18s. The C late is getting the GBU-54Bs, so you can see them right here. These are the LJ dams, which means that instead of just GNSS guidance, they also have laser, IOG, and then also GNSS. So that makes it a little bit nicer. They have also changed the the standard FA-18A. So this vehicle has actually gone down in BR, as you may have seen. And the reason for this is they're reducing its armament. It can only carry 4 AIM-7Ms and 6 AIM-9Ls, but at a time, you can only bring 4 AIM-7Ms and then 2 AIM-9Ls because it takes up this. So you can either do 6 AIM-9Ls and 2 AIM-7Ms or 4 AIM-7Ms and then the AIM-9Ls on top of it. And yeah, so that kind of sucks for it, but it does mean it'll be at 12.3, which seems really powerful for this vehicle. So maybe there is something that I'm missing. For other top tier vehicles, the J-11B has been changed as well. What they've ended up doing to it is, first of all, in the grinding, you can see here, they've actually coupled together the J11 and J11A, and therefore it'll be easier to get the J11B. They have added in the proper model of the PL8B, or I shouldn't say proper, but it isn't the PL8 model anymore. And remember, the PL8B is the IRCCM version of the PL8, so a lot more powerful. Another thing they've also added is more CAS ordnance to this vehicle. So instead of just having access to those funny rockets, it finally got its bombs. So it has the drag bombs, the dumb bombs, and then also guided bombs. So it gets access to the GB500s, which are laser guided, and also the GB250s, which are laser and GNSS at the same time. So these coupled with the pod that you can get are going to be very, very good and work extremely well in general. So you basically have another multi-role vehicle that is turned up for China, and it just continues. Like, everything just continues to be crazy at the highest echelon of the game in terms of aircraft. So it is just nuts. The next part is about the maneuverability mode. So you know how the maneuverability mode has come in for the Su-30S7 and also a bunch of other vehicles. Well, guess what? They're massively expanding the amount that is in. So first of all, the Eurofighters. The Eurofighters will be getting the super maneuverability mode, which is available for a lot of vehicles. So look forward to that. I don't think it's going to come in how it's kind of like shown on the dev server, but you can see here, you know, you have it where you can push it around. One of the interesting things about this super maneuverability thing is it doesn't actually put any overload on your plane, which seems a little bit wrong. So that's why, like, you can't snap it while you're doing stuff like this. But yeah, so it's available for the Eurofighter. It's also available for the F-15s, which is really funny because they're huge. So that's going to look really interesting in general. You also have some other aircraft like the J-11s and the MiG-29s getting access to the maneuverability option. The Rafale is also getting it too, and funnily enough, the J-35s are also getting access to it. So it's definitely something to look forward to if you are a person who enjoys stuff like that. I generally feel like it's not going to be that useful in the game, but I think people enjoy it. Another aircraft set that also got it is the Gripens. So the Gripens will also be able to go flippy dippy and go a little bit crazy. So overall, I would say if you're looking forward to the new mechanic, it's not just going to be on the new vehicles, it's also going to be on a bunch of different stuff. The Harrier T10 has also been changed. So they basically made this its actual self instead of just being a copy of the other Harrier. So it has the two pilots, as you can see here. And then also, at the same time, they have changed its flight model. So this will be a completely unique Harrier in how it works. They've also added the chaff to it. So this vehicle has access to this over here, which is a pod. Basically, you can see it. Is it there? No, actually, I don't see it anywhere. But basically, yeah, it's going to get a chaff pod, so it can be used for countermeasures. It has access to 216 large caliber chaff countermeasures coming from this thing, and then also you have your standard 60 countermeasures on the vehicle itself. So at least you'll be able to stop the you'll be able to stop some of the radar locks because with this type of vehicle, it's more designed for CAS than it is for air, remember. So that is a pretty huge deal, I would say, for this type of thing. The other vehicles that kind of got a few changes are some of the radar systems and all of this, but that's more we'll go into later on. The 2S19s are slightly less fat. They're still fat, they're just slightly less. And it's not really going to make a difference. They're still going to be not very mobile and also very easy to kill. Looks like these things are basically in the way that they're going to be added. Now, the VT5. This vehicle has gone through multiple changes, and finally, it's nearly where it should be. This vehicle now has a proper targeting speed. So you can see here, it's actually doing pretty good. They have added the cannon breech to it, but the gun is just not attached to the cannon breech right now. But you can see the targeting speed is a lot better than it used to be. And then also, at the same time, the reload is good. The armor profile looks a lot better than it was before, or at least I should say not a lot worse. And the other part of it that just isn't here yet is the APF SDS. So it only has access to the Type 83 heat right now. It does get the light tank capabilities because it's now labeled as a light tank, and then also gets an LWSLR, which is a nice addition to the vehicle too. So I think that's actually quite nice. The R77-1 now has its own actual model, so it doesn't just look exactly like the standard R77. So I feel like this updates, they're getting ready to go with it. It's going to be here pretty soon. And then a big loss to Canada. A very unfortunate week for Canada. But Canada has also lost the Rapier when it comes to War Thunder. So this is now labeled as a British vehicle and not a Canadian vehicle. Incredibly sad and unfortunate. They've also done some modification changes to different things and also at the same time improved certain areas, such as some of the ways that you actually see stuff, but it's nothing huge, so it's not really worth going through. And then also they're continuing to add in some weird changes to premium account. You can see here, this is kind of like the new way that they're showing it, and this is going to not just be this is just not going to be just this. There's also going to be other stuff coming later on to try and basically get you to buy these things. So they're redoing a lot of these like options up here to make them look nicer and to make them look better. And they've added some things in here just to kind of do that. So look forward to that as it comes along. And also they've added an estimated damage stat card text, which I think is pretty fun. Not entirely sure what that's about. My guess would be that's for naval, but not entirely sure. And also, they've made Sinai smaller again. So there are some areas around the map you're not allowed to go anymore. So they're once again making it into a, well, basically into a shooty bang bang map instead of anything where you can flank anywhere. So that kind of sucks. They've also technically changed the names of the nets, but not really. You now have the nets mod, and then you have the other nets, which is known as the F-16A Block 10 nets mod. So it doesn't really make a huge difference. That's pretty much it from the dev server. I will update it if anything else happens. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.
I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem, Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.